Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern time zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's always such a fun ride. You can watch us so many different ways. You can find us on television in close to Huntsville, Alabama, channel 182 on Charter Communications. It's also part of Spectrum. You can find us on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on the newscasters.com, all the social media sites. So we do not want you to get in trouble at work. Okay. So if you can't be available at 2:00, you can always find us on other social media sites such as Facebook, facebook.com/D Feazell. Find us that way. X, all of them. We're on all of it. Just do a search for Donna Feazell or Donna's Edge, and you'll find us that way. Continue sending email. Philip can tell you that when you send an email, it just makes my day. Donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. Now, a number of you have asked me about financial advice, and I can't give it to you. I can tell you what not to do in finances, but as far as advice, that's not really good. So I found Dana, and Dana and I are friends now. Dana Chrisley, and she's with Primerica, and I have a really good friend in Alabama who has been with Primerica for years, on top of years. But you told me some things in a meeting once that really grabbed my attention, and because a lot of us middle income earners, we're kind of looked down on if we don't have $1 million, to put in savings, or, 500,000 or anything much less than that.
That's right.
So tell me about Primerica and tell me how you got started.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Would it be better for me to look at you or look at the camera?
Either one of us. You're looking at both.
Okay. Just making sure, because this is my first time ever doing anything like this. So I'm super excited about the opportunity. I'm grateful for your invite. But I started in Primerica a little about 3 years ago, 2023. And I was a barber, a master barber, and had been in the industry for over 20 years, on my own salon and barbershop, made a lot of money.
Oh, well, Phil's looking for a barber.
Right. Well, I don't do that anymore. I do have some good referrals though. Okay. But I found myself in 2020 faced with some challenges, some health challenges. I was 48 years old. I had arthritis in both of my hands really bad. So I ended up having some surgeries, and it put me in a place where I wasn't able to continue to earn the same amount of money. I grew up here in this small town, and my parents were great parents. They, they gave us what they could give us, but they didn't have anything extra. And the one thing they couldn't give us was financial education. They showed us how to work hard, pay our bills, be responsible adults, that kind of stuff, but they could not give us the keys, the answers to the things. And so, growing up, I started working at a really young age. I never really understood money. I never understoed how money performed.
Well, there's somebody called Uncle Sam who takes stuff out of your paycheck.
Yep, Uncle Sam. I mean, I learned that lesson really quickly, right? At 15 years old, first paycheck, and you're like, who is FICA, right? So I just didn't have a lot of financial knowledge, and I thought that I was financially free. Because between my husband and I both, we made about $250,000 a year. And that is in no way, shape, or form a brag, because we were still paycheck to paycheck. And that's because we didn't understand money. We were spending more than we were making, because we were always in the mindset that we can make more until something happens and you can't.
Right.
And I had plenty of people that were in the financial industry that were sitting in my chair, getting, my services, haircuts, shaves, all of those things. And none of them thought to actually share with me how to become financially free, right? They knew how much money I was making because they were paying the price I was charging, and they saw how busy I was. So, I mean, it didn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. And when this happened to my hands, I realized I was in trouble, because where I was supposed to be able to go right back to work, I wasn't able to. And so I started looking for a way to replace my income. And originally, Donna, I was going to open an insurance agency. I was going to become the Chrisley insurance agency. And I thought, okay, that's going to be perfect because I know a lot of people. And I was in that business for about 4 weeks. And I realized, nah, this is
not for you.
The main thing was it had taken me 20 years to build my income to where I was at. And I realized it was going to take me another 20 to build it, to replace it. And I didn't want to have to work until I was 70.
Yeah.
I was 50 years old at that time. That's when I got introduced to Primerica and the concept of financial freedom. See, making a lot of money, buying what I want, going where I want, I thought that was financial freedom. In actuality, financial freedom is that you have a residual income that's greater than your living expenses. That was an aha moment for me. I was like, where can I get that?
That's kind of like what I do with my sponsors. It's a residual income for me. And there's nothing like building it up, to do it one time and then you're done.
Yeah, exactly. And, that was just a concept that was so foreign to me. I had never been introduced to that. I didn't understand the concept of 100% of one versus 1% of 100. I wasn't an avid reader. I was a reader, but it was usually smut. It was nothing like educational or knowledgeable. So I started reading. I started learning. I learned the rule of 72. I learned the theory of...
What's the rule of 72?
You don't know the rule of 72? For real? Okay, so the
rule... Maybe I do. I just don't know what you call it.
So the rule of 72 is a simple math equation that tells you how many years it takes your money to double.
Oh, okay.
So it's an explanation of compound interest in layman terms.
Absolutely.
Because everybody knows the word compound interest, right? We know that word because we see it on our credit card statements. Compounding, right? Annual compounding interest.
If you only pay that tiny little bit they say you can pay, you're going to wind up at like $1,000 is going to turn into
absolutely into a lot. So the rule of 72 says you take your interest rate and you divide it into the number 72. And it'll tell you how many years it's going to take for that money to double.
Oh my goodness!
Right. So our example that we use is $2,000. Right. We compare it to a 3%, a 6%, and a 12% account. At 3%, $2,000 will double in 24 years. Right, because 3 goes into 72 24 times. So in 24 years, you would have $4,000. 24 more, you'd have $8,000. So in 48 years. You would have $8,000. Woohoo, right? Who's going to be impressed by that? Nobody. And then, of course, 6% is 12 years. So it's, a lot of people think double the interest, double the money. It's actually 4 times the money because in that every 12-year time frame in 48 years, you got $32,000. A little bit better.
Yeah.
But at 12% interest, right? That's a whole nother story. We're going to go into that. 12 goes into 72 6 times. So every 6 years, the money doubles. Same amount of money, same amount of time, $512,000.
I can see how that works. So this is what happened to my son. Okay. So they buy a house and they get married. It's a townhouse. And so it almost freaked me out when they said they wanted to go on 30 years. And I'm like, oh my goodness, but I'm not going to boss them, tell them what to do. Let them make their mistakes and they'll learn from them. Right. So what I didn't know is they had set a goal to have this house paid off in 10 years before the 10th wedding anniversary. So I actually did a smart thing because what they were doing was doubling and tripling the house payment. Of course, they would forget their wallet when we went out to eat, things like that. And so they made the goal.
Yes.
So what they did is they found an amortization sheet online. And this is what it would turn into if we paid it off in 10 years. They saved more than $100,000 in interest alone just by paying it off like that. So what you're talking about doing is putting that in savings.
So, and interestingly enough, the rule of 72 works both ways. It works for you in investing, but it also works against you in the debt world. And, when I saw the rule of 72 for the first time, I had been saving money. Every time I would get something extra, I was saving. I wanted to, see if I could start something for an investment account for retirement. I didn't want to work forever. And my interest rate at my bank was 0.25%.
Yeah. It's to laugh at. Yeah.
0.25, which meant it would be 288 years until my money would double one time. And that's how I found out how banks make money. I thought banks made money by loaning out money, but they actually only can loan out a certain portion of their assets. The rest of the money that they have in house, they invest that into mutual fund accounts at 12% interest. They make that 512 and they give us 8,000 or less. They keep the difference. And then I don't know what it's like, in Alabama, but I know in South Carolina, when you go through the drive-thru and you make a deposit, they send you out a sucker. And Donna, It's a dumb.
Because you're a sucker.
Because you're a sucker, right? I mean, you think about it.
I take it that way too.
Me too. When you think about all the cities and towns that you've been in, a majority of the cities and towns, what's the biggest buildings in downtown?
Banks.
The banks, because they're making so much money off of the middle income Main Street families. We don't know how or where to start because we don't have anybody on our side. Mutual funds have been around for over 100 years. They were created to help people create wealth. But once these large corporations got their hands on it, they started putting guidelines like what you were talking about in the beginning, 100,000, 250,000, 500,000, you'll get access to 12%. At Primerica, we give people 12% interest for $25.
Oh,
$25.
So the young mom by herself, doesn't have a spouse, whatever, and she's working the best she can. And a bank would laugh at her by saying, $20.
Yes.
Goes in. You guys could help her.
Absolutely. We can help families. So I was mentioning about the debt side of it. Let me elaborate on that a little bit. Because if you think about it, there's glamorization of credit card debt on every corner. Turn on the TV, on the billboards, in the print ads, everywhere you look, they're glamorizing that.
You can have what you want.
Yes. What's in your wallet? I don't know if I can say that. But
I know what you're talking about.
They glamorize it, and they want Main Street America to continue to build that credit.
It's part of the system.
Yes. There's trillions of dollars, and the statistics are over 90% of people in debt right now believe that they will die in debt. They don't even know how to get out of it. So understanding how interest works on both sides of it, because if 12% interest is going to double your money in 6 years, 24% in a credit card is going to double in 3. So that means that you can't catch up. What your son did with his house was perfect. You can actually not pay an extra $1. You don't have to pay an extra payment. You just split the payment in half, pay one piece of it on the 1st and one piece of it on the 15th, and you'll do the same thing.
You're tricking yourself into an extra month.
Yes. You trick yourself into an extra month. You pay your house off sooner. You save hundreds and thousands of dollars in interest, right? And then it gives you the ability to start investing some of that savings and retire with dignity.
Dana, we're going to have to go. Can you believe half the show's already over?
No.
Yes, it's already over. You're going to be a regular on my show, okay? Because I am so sad at the education not being taught in schools anymore. And so we're going to have to talk some more. But let's go into a break. And we're going to be right back in just a few minutes. So y'all hang in there, okay? Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. Finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas.
Lowe's knows that the projects you build in spring are the ones you can't wait to share. It's why we make sure you have our best deals with My Lowe's Rewards, and that you get help from people who've
been there,
done that.
Try this.
This spring, we'll help you build something rewarding.
Hey, Stan.
What's up?
I made you something.
Oh, thank you.
And I got something for you. You grew these?
Of course.
Lowe's knows how to help you spring.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.
Because of your overwhelming support, our $14.88 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna. We're back from the commercial break. Thank you so much for watching Everyday Monday through Friday. Continue sending email. I know we're answering a lot of questions from the emails that have been sent. If you have any questions for Dana, if you'll send those emails to me, Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com, we're going to get her to answer those for you. Again, thank you so much for watching. Okay. More great information right here.
Thank you.
Some things I didn't really realize. I know my son taught me a lesson about their home, paying it off in less than 10 years before the 10th wedding anniversary, saving over $100,000. But we can reverse that through your company, Primerica.
Right. So what we like to do with families, especially, we call it the money moon. When people first get married, you know, going in and helping them, because the honeymoon is great, but the money moon starts immediately. Blending of financials and blending of bills, blending of those things. You know, our culture is a little bit different than it used to be 20 or 30 years ago. A lot of people lived together before. So even in that scenario, we can help families understand where they can actually get some significant savings and how to access. A lot of times, companies that offer the services that we offer charge thousands and thousands of dollars to just to consult with somebody. Just to have a consultation with somebody, you're going to have to write a check for $1,500 or $2,000. All of that, we have this tool that we use called $B Smart. Have you ever heard of that before? $B Smart. So $B Smart is a really cool cutting edge technology that allows us to help our clients get what we call a financial snapshot. It shows you what you're doing great. It shows you what you could be doing a little bit better. And it gives you options, some things that you may not even be aware of that you qualify for financially. And so it's about a 15-minute conversation. And then we use another tool called the FNA. the financial needs analysis.
Mm-hmm.
And the F&A will give you your FIN number. That's your financial independence number. Understanding what you need to have to be able to have the life that you want to have. And that retirement is not an age, guys. Retirement is a number. So understanding what you want your life to look like at different stages. And of course, when you're young, when you're in your 20s, it's easy to be like, oh, I don't have to worry about that right now. But unfortunately,
what if there's not going to be Social Security by the time they retire?
Right. That. And time is a thief.
Uh-huh.
Time will come in and just scoop up a big old portion and you don't even realize it. And before you know it, when you were 22, now you're 32, 42. And you
can have an accident and not have the right insurance and just be devastated.
Completely devastated. So understanding how to put yourself in the right position and align yourself with people who truly have the best interest of the client in mind. When we were talking about how the industry as a whole overlooks the middle income class. Yeah, it's tough, guys.
And we're the ones who are out there chugging. We're the ones who are out there, paying all these taxes.
Yep. We pay the taxes. We fund, basically the government. The wealthy class. There's some great people in the wealthy class. I don't give ill will towards that because at one point, very soon, I will also be considered the wealthy class, right? Because I know what I'm doing now. But anybody can do it. Anybody can do it as long as you know how to do it. And it's so simple, it's scary. It's so simple. Now, I didn't say easy now, right? Anything worth having requires discipline, hard work, and commitment, right? But if you will put that little bit of effort in, you could have the life of your dreams.
I can see this really helping out young folks, not only the middle class folks, my age, whatever, but I can see because they're not being taught finances in school anymore. I know I was in an event one day, and so I had all of my things out at this event, and there was a bank right by me, and there was a huge check. I mean, it's like this really big thing right here. And I said, what's that about? You're going to write me a check? And to sponsor with me.
Yes.
And she said, we're going to educate kids on how to write a check. I said, well, hold it. Kids don't know how to write checks.
No, they don't know how to sign their names.
Yeah.
In cursive.
Because in cursive, I mean, that's all gone away. You are so needed in this society.
Well, I don't know if you actually have ever looked at the statistics of what it looks like for that. What do they call the age group that's coming through this 18 to 25? Right
I don't
now?
know. There's so many.
Okay. So that group,
the
right?
Millennials, not millennials. It's called something else.
Yes. So that group, that age group of people, they're our future. Right. And I mean, contrary to what we think about, kids on phones and tablets and stuff like that, that's not the point. The point is that our future is getting their advice from social media. They're getting their financial advice from Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And I'm not saying that there's not some good stuff out there on those platforms. What I am saying is that do your due diligence. Make sure that the person that you're listening to is actually licensed, actually in business, not just somebody's opinion. Opinions are important, for some things like, does this dress look good on me? But when it comes to your financial stability, somebody's opinion could really, really hurt you in the long run. And understanding where to find the right advice and how to talk to somebody and getting access to that's really, truly, we were founded in 1977 by a high school football coach. We were founded on a platform of education. So when we help families, when we help clients, we educate across the board. I can't say I've ever gone into somebody's house and sold them a product the first time I met them, right? I go in and I find out what it is that they need, what it is that they know already, and I structure a plan to help them achieve their goals.
I can see where you come in handy, okay? Because when someone first gets married, they don't necessarily seek their parents out, because they want to feel like, the parents feel like they're on their own. I don't have to ask you any questions. And it's not because they don't respect their parents at all. It's nothing to do with that. I get it. It's like, well, I want my parents to know that I can stand on my own 2 feet. Sometimes it takes somebody else, somebody like you, to help them to see what they're doing wrong.
It's the most amazing feeling in the world to be able to help a young couple. I mean, I've helped a lot of people that are in my age group. I'll be 54 this year, and I've helped a lot of people from my era growing up, because we all grew up basically in the same house. You know, we all had the same parents. They weren't actually the same people, but they had the same knowledge. That was not something that was talked about. You know, when we talked about money, anybody that has money, they're going to hell. Money doesn't grow on trees. Have you ever heard that? Right. And so that was,
shut that door. You're heating the entire town of Abbeville.
right. And so growing up with those types of, you know, influences and attitudes about money, you know, you just don't understand. And unless you are that person that spends hours and hours seeking out your own independent knowledge, and sometimes even that's hard because you don't even know where to start. And so, you know, it's like being able to come in and help families at every single level that they're at, whether they're starting out, whether they're having their first child, buying their first house, retiring, even 401ks. You know, when somebody comes in and starts a new career, you know, they get a new job, they graduate from college, they get an opportunity, they go to work somewhere, and the HR person just hands them a packet and says, fill this out.
Remember that? You know, what am I filling out here?
Well, and here's the number one question. You got your pen in hand. You look at the HR lady, you say, what did you put? What should I put here? And
what if this person doesn't know?
They don't know. They have no idea.
They don't know what your situation is because every situation is different.
They don't know anything about anything when it comes to understanding how money grows. What's the best choice? I mean, almost every 401k package has a Roth IRA in it. It's amazing to me how many employees choose not to go into the Roth IRA versus putting their money into a taxable situation.
I was with GTE for a number of years. I was in a corporate account. Okay. I handled the corporate and government accounts with them, and they're known as Verizon now. And so I remember putting all my money in this funding, and then the year 2018 hit and I lost everything.
Wow. That's tough.
Yeah, it was tough because I was spending a big percentage of money in there.
And so that's another thing. Were they matching you?
Yeah.
And you were putting in more than what they were matching. See, that's another thing. The GP, general public, they don't typically understand that if you desire to save more money than what your company is matching, own that outside of your job. Own that away from the work, because the work still has their fingers in it. They're still involved in it. And when you have that middleman, and there's another middleman and there's another middleman involved, that's a lot of money that's being left out of your pocket.
Well, it was kind of upsetting because I felt myself I was pretty knowledgeable. I thought, well, I'm smart enough. Yeah. I was making good money with the company, making more than my boss was making.
Wow.
So, I mean, and then that happened, and I felt pretty disrupted there.
Well, and in our business, we actually give advice to our clients, and even people that are not my clients, I've given this advice to. You know, I call it planting seeds. You know, I'm creating a harvest. And when I help somebody understand how to accurately allocate their 401k plan, when the time comes for them to retire, they're going to remember that I helped them. I helped them retire with $1 million instead of $100,000. Because $1 million, you know, is going to generate about a $60,000 income in
people
retirement.
Making Social Security, it's not keeping up. I mean, it's not at all. Even if I know women who are elderly living by themselves who are trying their best to live off of $900.
And they can't. That's the saddest thing to me. That's the saddest thing. You know, statistically, you know, when you look at the number of people who retire, they typically do not have enough money to retire to begin with, or they outlive what they saved, and now they're having to go work a job. You know, and I don't get me wrong, I love to shop at Walmart. That's my favorite place to shop. Really, in Greenwood, that's all you got. And so when you go to the Walmart, to the local Walmart, and this is not a dig on anybody, but the average age of the greeter at Walmart is somewhere between 70 and 85 years old.
They're having to supplement their income.
They're having to supplement.
Dana, can you believe the show is over?
Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun.
How can folks get in contact with you?
Oh yeah, so my cell phone is out there everywhere in the World Wide Web. It's 864-980-1407. I don't screen my calls. You can text or call me anytime. You know, So I believe that this should be available to everybody, and that everybody deserves a fighting chance to have something significant with their life.
Yeah, we finally got a warrior company on our side. It's about time. Thank you for all you do.
Of course.
Definitely appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
And thank you guys for watching. Continue sending email. If you have email for Dana, please send that to me, Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com. And I'll tell you, she knows her stuff. I won't even let her see it until the show. We'll see you next time. Take
Bye, guys.
care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.